The Midseason Awards. It's time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You got the commish, you got JJ, couple of special guests here to join us for the Chi-Fi Fantasy Football Talk Show Midseason Special. It is great to have you all here. First and foremost, we got the expert, the principal consultant joining us today, Scott, the bot Duncan. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing, sir?
We're doing great. Thank you guys for having me a couple weeks later. I'm excited.
Sure. Good to have you back on the show, man. And also another special guest today, the man, the myth, the legend, Dorf.
How's it going, everyone? I'm very happy to be here. Excited to bring you some fun content.
We've been trying to get this guy on the docket for about 9 weeks now. He travels a lot. Let's just say he's a wanted media talent. So we're very grateful to have him on the talk show. He's going to be breaking down the midseason wars for us. So let's just get right into it. We got a lot to cover this week, Jack.
Oh, yes, we do. Let's get right into it.
Commissioner's address. Hey guys, Commish here. Not much to report. Think the league's doing pretty well. Keep updating your rosters. I don't need a running back anymore. So I know everyone was really worried about that. I think I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, keep it classy out there, folks. We only got 8 weeks left. So
Right on to the week 9 scoreboard, condensing a little bit this week to save some time for some other fun shenanigans. Huddy, walk me through these matchups here.
I'm skating by here with a nice win against Shuby. I needed that win. We got Tyler advancing to 8-1 on the season with a little bit of a barn burner against James this week. Jack, yourself putting up a nice little win against a deflated Nathan Sue team. Suspects, if you ask me.
Fraud watch.
That is fraud watch right there. We got Nabil getting a much needed win against Ollie. Ollie's still on a huge skid. Another suspect team right there. And last but not least, Brendan Bridge taking down the worst team in all of football, the Lewisburg Times.
Maybe in fantasy history, to be honest, but we'll see.
You may have a point there. The team is historically awful.
I've heard pretty bad things about this team in this league, so
Even Dorf knows, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy.
I believe Tyler got his playoff berth. I think that's confirmed.
He did clinch a playoff spot today, so congratulations, Ty. Well deserved, my friend.
Let's go.
I'd also like to report that I finally broke the curse. My tight end, Jake Ferguson, fresh off the waiver, put up 22 points, breaking the streak of having under 10 points for my tight end. He is confirmed in my lineup rest of the year. Which brings us to the game of the week. Scott, what happened here?
All right, so there's definitely some banter going on between me and my opponent. Mueller, I owe you $10. I'll Venmo that to you very soon. Same with Murray. Yeah, so I think Mueller got a little bailed out here with a Browns defense 23, but then I got bailed out with Vegas at 18. So going into Monday night, I needed a Keenan Allen 25 bomb to win, and I came up just shy. That puts me at 3-6, and it feels like every team I play has one of their best weeks. For Mueller, it's not the case, but I play Nate next week, so fuck you, Nate. You're going down, and we'll see.
I think you got to throw down like $50 on that game to make back your money, because that's
yeah.
Here on the Hey Guys Talk Show. I think it's going to be a big week, Scott.
Oh, we'll see. Nate, I'll call you. We'll make something happen.
Let's go.
By far the most important week of the season for Mr. Scott next week. 3-7 would make his playoff chances bleak, but moving to 4-6 would give him some hope. All right, on to the standings here. Huddy, what we got?
Looks like Mueller is still sitting pretty comfortably at the top of the West here. Jack, you and I, a couple of elite managers, obviously sitting pretty in the playoff pictures. The Justin Tuckers, as we say, getting their playoff berth 100% in the playoffs. We'll see Tyler. I think Scott, you definitely have a chance. I think you're gonna have to beat Bridge out, and you're probably gonna have to beat me out, which I don't want to say, but it might have to come down to you and me for that last spot, honestly.
Actually, so 1 second on that. So we have 6 playoff spots, right?
Correct.
So I looked at my schedule. Bridge, I have him over points for by a decent amount. Murray and I, it's close. I play Murray the final week before playoffs, and that's gonna flip the script. So I have more points than Murray for points for right now. So if I beat him on the final week of the year and I like make our records even, then I would get the last spot for a playoff berth. So yeah, it's gonna be a ride. We'll see. We'll see.
That would be something, wouldn't it? It's going to be an interesting stretch here. A lot of close teams.
Might have to put some money on it though.
Oh,
Bet it out. You know what they say.
That's someone's dignity riding on the line there.
Yeah.
That final game. I can't wait.
I'd expect nothing less out of you too. Lewisburg Townie's hanging on to that 1% right there. Crazy how he's not been eliminated yet. It's actually crazy. It's time.
Dorf, take your seat.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the most interesting man in the world, Dorf.
How's everybody?
So much money to be on the show.
My time is valuable. I'll keep this brief. I'm here to bring you the Midseason Awards, lovingly titled The Dwarfs. I'm going to give you the highs and lows about your favorite players in this league and how they've been saving and screwing you throughout these different games. So MVP, I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise. Mr. Christian McCaffrey. This guy's an absolute dog, right? You watch this guy on the TV and he just goes off constantly. He's got a fantastic score record. Not much else to say. I mean, I'm a big Christian McCaffrey fan, and you should be too.
Absolutely huge. And drafted 4th overall by Tyler.
Overall, yeah. Who's, I guess, I'm not familiar with who's on what team in this league. So enlighten me as to who has Mr. McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Tyler skillfully drafted him at number 1 overall.
Okay, that'll probably come in handy later on in this slide deck.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year goes to Mr. CJ Stroud. I'm particularly excited about this one because I just picked him up off the waivers in my own league. He went undrafted, so I'm pretty excited to see what he has going on. Let's talk a little bit. Is Mr. Stroud drafted in this league?
He was not drafted in this league. He was a waiver wire pickup, I believe. I want to say Murray has him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this guy's been doing fantastic as of late. The Texans, I would say last season, dog water team, really like just bummy. But professional analysis is not bummy this season. So thanks to Mr. Stroud, I'll say.
Not bummy indeed. Houston, shout out the fans of Houston. Finally have something exciting to watch.
Steal of the draft goes to Raheem Mostert, drafted 124th. My God, and a running back too. This guy's fantastic. I mean, I see this guy's name every single week, looking at either the fantasy app or like actually on television. But no, this dude puts up mad points. Who's the lucky owner of this guy?
Tyler.
Of course, Tyler.
Tyler as well. Okay, I'm sensing a common theme here.
Why not the best 2 running backs?
What's going on, Kamish? What happened here with this league?
I don't listen, dude. Anyone can draft who they want, and Tyler was smart enough to draft the Dolphins RB1.
Yeah,
We do have a fraud watch though on him though. I will say that. Not on Tyler, on Mostert. We got a chain coming back, by the way, and we'll see what happens with him.
It'll be interesting for sure.
Could be a dangerous playoff season for Mostert. I am worried about him getting injured. I think there is a lot of pressure on him right now in games. So I think this guy might take 1 or 2 pretty bad hits, and he could be out for a while. But I think for the time being, he's a certified dog.
Yeah, especially his age is about the same as his jersey number there. He is up there for a running back, so
Oh,
we will
yeah.
have to see his longevity. But so far this season, averaging 19 a game, nonetheless, Raheem Mostert.
Pretty damn good. Flop of the year, Najee Harris. Certified bum, in my opinion. I mean, this guy, I can't even, words can't describe my contempt for Najee Harris in this league. He was on my roster briefly and did not impress, I'll say. Can we get some stats on this guy? Like, I mean, I haven't even taken the time to inform myself about the goings on of Mr. Harris because I hate him so much.
Yeah, so a little analysis for you. Last 3 weeks, Najee has actually been okay, averaging like 12, 13 a game. But considering that Perone took him in the 3rd round, that is awful. Najee is ranked running back 30. And Jalen Warren, his own teammate, is ranked 2 spots ahead at RB 28.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he is just barely averaging double digits, which is solid for a guy you took in the 10th round, not the 3rd. When we take a look at Perone's draft history, 1st round was Saquon Barkley. You know, he's been hurt on and off, so like, you know, not really his fault. Good player. 2nd round was Garrett Wilson, lost his quarterback, has been shit, and then Najee Harris and Ramondre Stevenson.
Wow.
Hence his 1-8 record.
It's like reading an obituary. I'm very sorry, Perone. That's a tough look. I hope you do better next year.
Last but not least.
Oh, I mean, come on. I was waiting for this beautiful face to come up on the screen. Coach of the year, Mr. Tyler Burley, using his micro penis to absolutely fuck the competition. I mean, going 8-1, just man. So I mean, I guess I don't actually. What can I say? This guy's got a good team. I kind of want to see it. Can we get a rundown of his current lineup for me?
Let me pull that up for you.
I have it up. He's got Jalen Hurts, CMC, Mostert, and then his wide receivers, he's got Metcalf, Drake, London, Hawkinson as tight end, and then he's kind of been switching his flex every now and then between like Tank Dell, Christian Watson, and Cam Make. I don't think he's ever played Cam Akers, but yeah.
Okay, so what the fuck happened during this draft then? Because you just listed off like 5 of the 8 best players in the NFL on this kid's team.
Well, to be honest,
He got McCaffrey at 4 because Nabil took Eckler at 2.
He's got 3 league winners, man. I mean, Hurts, McCaffrey, and Mostert is literally his entire team. And if any of those guys get hurt, I think his team's gonna not be in good shape. Mueller kind of has that same thing as well. He's got that Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown stack, which is and ETN. That's insane.
Yeah, those are crazy. Those are crazy stacks. It's no wonder this guy is almost has a perfect record. Good for him, man.
Yeah, I don't know who beat him, but whoever it was
Bridge. I just looked it up.
Wow.
Bridge.
Okay.
Huh.
Excellent.
I'm assuming before the Justin Jefferson injury.
All right. Well, congratulations to Tyler. I will rescind my time.
Dorf.
Thanks for joining us, Dorf.
Yeah,
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
And I'd say that perhaps next season, in the off-season league meetings, maybe we can open up to a little expansion.
I would love to
in this league.
Love to join. I will see you, gentlemen.
Oh, I think that'd be a very welcome sight in the league. Shake things up. Maybe kick Scott out. I don't know.
Wouldn't that
Maybe
be
last place gets
last
booted.
place punishment? You get
Oh no, you're right. That should be the punishment.
No, we can't do that to Perone. We can just go to 14. That's too cruel.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. All right, Scott, baby, it's time.
It is time. This was tough to do, man. It was tough to see my Niners go from number 1 a couple weeks ago all the way down to number 4. But we'll just start off with the top 10, starting off with the Dolphins. Fraud team alert.
Below
And
the Steelers,
sound the
because
alarm.
why not?
Yeah, so the Dolphins are, I believe, undefeated against teams without a winning record, and defeated 0 wins against teams with a winning record. So this team, kind of like the Cowboys, loves to beat up on shitty teams, and then when they play talent, they lose. I would say the Dolphins would have a tough match against 1 through 9 on this. I don't think they would have an easy game. So that's why they're at 10. I did say the entire AFC North Hudson was going to be in the playoffs. And currently in the standings, the Bills are projected to miss the playoffs right now. I
Really?
believe so, right? I think that's correct because
They are out of the playoff picture right now. You are
Yeah.
correct.
And this division is an absolute dogfight every single year. And the Bengals are like the hottest team in the league right now because Joe Burrow's back. But the Ravens happen to be 7-2. Like, how is that gonna happen? We don't know. Cleveland has an unreal defense. Like, that's like a historic level defense, and Deshaun just has to play like okay. Yeah, I mean, I think all these teams are in the playoffs as wild cards. Yeah, that 7 through 9. There you go. 6, we got the Jags. They're in a cake division. I do think the Texans can make a sneaky. I don't want to say the Texans are going to win it. That's like a dumb claim, but the Niners play the Jags next week, and we'll see how the Jags match up against a decent offense and defense, because I think the Niners are going to bring it. Because if we lose another game, it's pretty much like sound the alarm, like what the heck is happening. So if the Jags can win against the Niners next week, they're going to move up in their rankings a little bit, and obviously the Niners move down a lot. So at number 5, we have Detroit. I'm actually very concerned about Detroit as a NFC team supporter. Same with any Eagles fans out there. If we check the Lions' schedule, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL from now until the end of the regular season. They play the Bears a couple times. They play the Vikings, who unfortunately are just bad right now. I think they play the Broncos too. Like, they just have a very easy schedule, and I could see them just purely by having a cakewalk schedule, they get the 1 seed in the NFC. If the Eagles lose a couple games, and same with the Niners, you might see the Lions have a fraud 1 seed. But they have a lot of things I like about them too. So they're number 5. And then coming in number 4, we have the Niners. Bang. Purdy, some rough couple of games here. I'm thankful that you guys didn't move him down to the trash tier. You kept him at not too bad. He's gonna bounce back. If any of you guys have actually watched the games, I think he looks really good. And then in Jimmy G fashion, he throws like the stupidest picks I've ever seen in my life. And if those picks didn't happen, I mean, I know you just can't say that, but if they didn't happen, you'd say, wow, he played like really good. We just signed Chase Young for a 3rd round compensatory pick, and masterclass by John Lynch, because if we choose to not extend Chase Young, then we also get a 3rd pick back. So we're essentially getting a free Chase Young rental. You can't double up Nick Bosa now. So that starting D-line is going to be Bosa, Armstead, Hargrave, and now Chase Young.
Fair.
Not fair.
I don't know how you stop that, even with Steve Wilkes' like shitty soft zone coverage. So if he wants to still run that, do it. I think we'll finally get some quarterback sacks now. But big week coming up, because we play the Eagles week 13, December 3rd. I'm gonna try to go to that game. We should all by the way, get as many Chi-Fi guys to go to that game as possible. Maybe. But I got the Eagles at 3. I know they're 7-1 and they just beat Dallas, but it was a 1-score game, and there's definitely some ref ball at play. Yeah, I mean, this team just week in and week out puts together gritty wins. I can't tell if they're the 2022 Vikings or the 2000 whatever, like 19 Patriots that beat the Rams in the Super Bowl or whatever, whichever year that was. But we'll find out soon enough. I'm excited. And bang, number 2, we got the Ravens. This was my Super Bowl pick in the AFC. Lamar Jackson, MVP. let's start that narrative. And I thought the Ravens were going to sign Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley, but they didn't, which kind of sucks. But it looks like they don't really need it. Lamar's absolutely carrying his team. Great defense. You could argue that they should be undefeated right now because they had two very close losses. So yeah, I mean, I don't see the Ravens losing a game anytime soon until they play the Bengals again. So yeah. And then coming at number one, no surprise, we got the Chiefs. They absolutely dog walked the Dolphins on both sides of the ball. I know Tua had like a chance to tie it at the end, but I really felt like they had the game in complete control. And this is the first year where Mahomes has had a top 5 defense, and that's scary. Name another team where you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably one of the best defenses in the league, and arguably one of the best coaches in the league. That's 3 of like the biggest things you need for an NFL team to succeed. So they're at number one. I really don't see how they're not in the Super Bowl this year, even though I picked the Ravens. It's going to be tough, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. A lot of football left to play.
Very true. As you said
Wow.
earlier, we are officially halfway through the NFL season.
Scott, I will say, I don't mind the rankings. They're good. I respect them more than I have in prior weeks. All 4 of the NFC North of the AFC North teams are not making the playoffs. That's just not going to happen.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
So listen, the Steelers are being saved by their coaching right now, and that is not going to last all season.
Tomlin is like the best coach of all time. The fact
Tomlin
that
is
he has this
amazing.
roster with a winning record, this roster sucks. And he's
This
doing it.
roster is mediocre from top to bottom. And when it comes into like the last few weeks of the season, when teams want to make the playoffs, like it's just not gonna happen. And then the Browns, their offense isn't capable of making them last. So I think the Dolphins are clearly better than both those teams, in my opinion. But other than that, I like the rankings.
Yeah, I agree. I think this top 5, I think I agree. Chiefs and the Ravens. The Ravens have looked unreal. The last 2 weeks they played the Seahawks and the Lions, who are both currently first place NFC teams, and beat them a combined 75-9, which is absurd. That defense is so good. Lamar looks amazing. Finally has a little bit more juice to that offense with like Odell's just okay, but Zay Flowers is awesome. So that team is real scary. I do agree over here. I think the Browns and the Steelers are just okay. Teams that have insane defenses and good coaching. And I would be very surprised if the Bills do not make the playoffs despite their struggles. But yeah, this list is good. The Bengals look awesome right now. Joey B, he's on fire. So yeah, Scott, well done.
Appreciate it, guys. Look out for the Jets, by the way. They might creep up in there.
Enough of this.
Next week.
No way.
Zach Wilson is still trash. He's been trash. He's always going to be trash.
He is trash. The kid is so bad. If they had a quarterback, they'd be like 7-2.
That's true.
All right, moving on. QB tier list of the week. We got some risers. We got some fallers. Let's take a look, everybody. Starting off with the dogs. I've seen enough. CJ Stroud is that guy. Houston Texans fans rejoice because you guys got your quarterback for the next 15 years. This kid is incredible. 41.8 fantasy points, most by any QB this whole season. Almost 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Kid's breaking records, and he already has more career touchdowns than Kenny Pickett. He's a dog. He may not be better than like Trevor Lawrence or some of these guys, but like after what he did, he deserves to be on this tier for at least a week. He is amazing. In the not too shabby tier, not much movement. I think I bumped Geno down 1 to the shabby tier because the Ravens ate him alive, tore him a new asshole. He has not impressed against good teams, but he's serviceable still. Also, a riser in the shabby tier, none other than the Minnesota Viking himself, Josh Dobbs. I would personally like to thank Josh for all he's done for the city of Minneapolis. In just this one short week, we have all fallen in love. Viking fans everywhere shaving their eyebrows. paying tribute to this man. In 22 years of life, I have never seen a Viking quarterback be able to move in the pocket like this kid. He's so fast. He's strong. And God, was that an awesome game that he won by himself, along with our receiving core. Absolute unreal. What do you guys think about this upper echelon here?
Fink, still dog, definitely. That goes without saying, but
Q3 earnings through the roof, by the way.
oh, absolutely, without question.
I'd say get Josh Allen the fuck out of the dogs tier. Damn it. I mean, how many more weeks are we gonna see him go up and down as if he's on like a roller coaster? I don't even know like what analogy I'd use, but like you can't play shit and then like play amazing every other game. Like it's gotta be like some like equilibrium there. So maybe not too shabby for right now. Like put him on the edge, like to the left of Trevor Lawrence.
My defense of Josh Allen is, even though he's been making more mistakes this season than past seasons,
Yeah.
his ceiling is as high or higher than any other quarterback.
Yeah.
That's my argument for why, like, I would say he's still elite, but he is making more mistakes like his rookie year again. It's weird.
Yeah, and I will say he has disappointed in terms of actual football results, but in terms of fantasy, you spend a third round pick on this guy, he's paid off because he moves the ball with his legs. He's rushing in for touchdowns. It makes up for some of his bonehead calls because he is a fantasy demon. But again, shout out Josh Dobbs, man.
Yeah. I would also I would put Derek Carr in the dog shit tier, arguably. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know why I left him there. He's not good. He's not good.
But good list though. I like it.
Thank you. In the serviceable tier, not much movement. Deshaun Watson re-enters the chat after some injury troubles. Will Levis in this tier as well. They may have lost, and he had a really bad fantasy line on Thursday Night Football. But if you watch that game, this kid made some really, really impressive throws. At least from what I saw, he's passing the eye test. I'm happy to say that the Titans announced he will be their starting quarterback going forward, and I'm very excited to see what the future holds for this kid, as he is now also, funny one, he's the oldest starting quarterback in the division as a rookie. He's older than Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, and I guess it was Anthony Richardson. But yeah, pretty crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. Also in this tier, Aiden O'Connell, who got the starting job back in Vegas. He looked pretty good. Again, didn't have much fantasy production because the second half they just ran the ball every play because they were beating the Giants by 100. But he looked pretty good. Giants are a good defense for the most part, maybe. Yeah, this kid looked all right. On to the dog shit tier, we got Mac Jones leading the pack. Taylor Heineke enters this tier after a loss to the Vikings. Tyson Bagent, Teabag himself, moves up into this tier because he used his legs quite a bit this week, and that impressed me. And rounding them off is Zach Wilson. In the Kirk Cousins tier, we still have Tannehill because he's been benched. Not really his fault, kind of injuries and a bad team looking for an excuse to start a rookie. And joining him was Jaron Hall, the Vikings rookie who got the start this week since Josh Dobbs had been in Minnesota for like 3 days. To be honest, the kid looked pretty good. He had one drive, led us all the way down the field, like 5 for 6, 78 yards, and then he got a concussion. Poor kid. There goes his chance because this is Josh Dobbs' teams now. It's his team. In the new got benched tier, Jimmy Garoppolo and Desmond Shitter. Not too much to say. These two are simply bad at football. And even below, would be benched if there was a bench, Tommy DeVito, Clayton, who I think finished with like 50 passing yards in a full game of football. So shout out those guys.
We put Arthur Smith in there too in the would be bench if there was a bench.
I hate that guy so much. As a Bijan owner, he actually brings me so much pain. I'm sure you guys saw that sequence where they had first and goal from the 1 didn't score, and not
Oh.
only that, but Bijan didn't even get on the field for any of the snaps. Enough's enough.
I have the
He's
tweet.
throwing. He's throwing. Another funny stat I heard on a podcast this morning. The entire NFC West this week had their score doubled by Kenny Moore II, who plays cornerback for the Colts. Kenny Moore had 2 pick sixes, 12 points, just him. And the NFC West this week combined for 6 points. Cardinals dropped a goose egg. The Rams scored 3. Oh, I forgot to put Brett Rippon on this list. He would be in that bottom tier as well. It would be benched if there was a bench, which there is a bench now. They just signed Carson Wentz. The Seahawks scored 3, and the 49ers were on a bye. So those 4 teams combined for 6 points. All right, moving on here from the QBs, we got the waiver wire report of the week. How do you break it down?
Let's start first and foremost with Keaton Mitchell down there, little Ravens running back. So this Ravens running back room is pretty stacked. You got a lot of guys that are getting playing time, but I think he's a rookie and got a lot of touches this past week against the Seahawks, probably because they were up so much, but he looked pretty good. Looks good for a young kid coming out there, getting some reps. I think got a touchdown, so
yeah,
could be worth stashing here.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Samuel, Commanders wide receiver. Listen, just because you look good against the Patriots doesn't mean you're a good fantasy player, is all I'll say. But he's not a terrible option. Cade Otton, Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end. Why not? A lot of guys need a tight end out there. Jack, you're one of them.
Not anymore, dude. Fergie to the rescue. My waiver wire pick of the week last week. Thank you for taking Trey McBride and letting me get Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, for sure, man. He gave me like 8 points this week, but it's whatever. And Taylor Heineke, quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. He's actually not bad quarterback. I think he'd be a fine streaming option for a 12-man league.
Yeah, Heine's matched up with the Arizona Cardinals this week. Will be interesting to see Kyler Murray back in action, but a bad defense nonetheless. So should be an okay day for the Falcons quarterback.
Hudson, I'd also like to thank you for giving me back Dalton Schultz, my baby, for Ravens defense. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's my bad. I didn't think he dropped 27 points.
That's why I wanted him back so badly.
Jack, I'm sorry. I have Laporta. He means nothing to me.
Fine, I did it to myself. I drafted Dalton Schultz, mind you. And after three duds in a row, he put up like 3, 4, and 7 in the first 3 weeks of the season. I dropped him. And since then he's been like a top 5 tight end. It's on me.
Well, I'm no longer sorry. Scott can have a tight end 1. And I get Laporta off the bye next week. So
Laporta's a goat, dude. Got him in my other league. He's insane.
Love it.
Can we make a change here to the waiver wire report title to Nick Perone's new starting players?
Yes.
Because he's got first, so he's going to be shopping through this list every week.
I feel like if you assembled a waiver wire team, they would maybe outscore Perone.
He never doesn't have first on the priority list.
Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe, you know what, next week let's compile a list of the top guys, the top possible waiver wire squad, and see if they outscore Perone.
Yeah.
Moving on, locks of the week brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Bet safely with FanDuel. Start us off, buddy.
Yeah, I had to dig a little deep for this one. I'm not a big college guy, but give me Penn State plus 4.5. Michigan is coming down to State College. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a test for Michigan. And Penn State's gonna show out, so why not?
And then real rowdy in Happy Valley, man. I'm excited for that game. All right, for me, I got Phoenix money line at Chicago plus Lakers minus 2.5 at Houston plus 274. Pretty good odds. I think Phoenix is like their betting lines have been adjusted because Booker and Beal haven't really been playing. But I think Kevin Durant could probably beat that Bulls team by himself. They're awful. And Lakers -2.5. Rockets honestly look okay, but I don't think LeBron's going to let them fall to 3 and 5. He's been unreal. So give me the Lakers on the road for this little parlay.
All right, and then my pick, I have the Warriors against the Nuggets at +135. This is for that legendary mid-season tournament, whatever the fuck it's called. It doesn't even matter. I don't know why the stupid Adam Silver made it, but yeah, definitely a matchup to watch here. If we win that, I don't know, man. Warriors might be back in championship conversations. We'll see.
We shall see.
We'll see.
And the Brother Bridge cheeky parlay of the week. Cleveland over 16.5, over 1.5 touchdowns with Baltimore money line +360, $10.46. It's what he sent. I'll trust him, even if we take all 3 of these legs individually. Why not?
The Hey Guys Fantasy Football Show supports legal gambling only.
We do.
Just disclaimer.
Yeah, bet safely with FanDuel. Don't chase your bets.
All right, we got the quote of the week. I don't know if you guys wanted me to say, but if you're not first, you're last, and if you're last in this case, you are Nick Perone. Hence the Lewisburg Townies at the bottom.
A man in a tier of his own. I think if we would have evaluated 3-4 weeks ago, we would have had Nabil down there with him. But I think it's safe to say that Nabil, we're sorry, your team is far better than this roster.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, Scott. If you're not first, you're last, and there are a lot of teams in last in this league, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Brian, sorry for all the shit this week. Your team stinks, but you don't. You don't, and your Eagles don't. So pick your battles. All right, week 10 preview. What we got this week, guys?
All right, let's run up. Who's playing who? Scott, who we got coming up? We got Suit.
Yeah, so I actually have the matchups. So we got Nate's Suit. Nate, I'm projected to win right now, even with Pup on a bye, because you got Swift on a bye. So that should be pretty even there. We'll see. This is if we have like a America's Game of the Week, we got Mueller against Tyler in an absolute battle. That's like Battle of the Gods right there. It's gonna be crazy. Big playoff implication game. We got Murray against you, Hudson. That's got some big playoff implications there. I need a Murray loss so I can take his spot.
I got you.
Then we got Ryan against Nabil. I think Nabil's projected. I think Ryan's got some bye weeks though. So Nabil might actually win that, which would be I'd feel good after that. Want Nabil to win. Then we got Ali against Bridge. That's another tight one. That's like I like how our league is very very close, like towards the bottom half. A lot of dog fights. And then this is pretty much a lock. We got Jack versus Perone. Fortunately, we can give Jack the dub, but sorry, Perone.
Knock on wood, you never know.
So Perone actually, as he said in our chat, another player is out. His starting wide receiver, Josh Downs, is out for the week. So we're looking at his backup lineup. He might have to start Brendan Cooks as his starting wide receiver too.
Oh no, it gets worse.
Brutal.
It gets worse. Yep.
Oh god. Yeah, the line is 49.4. I am favored by in that matchup. I mean, he hasn't set his lineup yet, so it's probably not that bad. But God, if we can't pull this one out, then I don't deserve to make the playoffs. Well, gentlemen, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you for tuning in, boys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Mid-season special. Scott, thanks for hopping on again. I had a lot of fun this week, boys. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Indeed, we will. Kind to one another. Wear your seatbelt.
A lot of football, guys. Get ready.
A lot of football.
Only halfway there. Buckle up.
Bang, dude. Let's go.
Bang. Good shit, guys. Bang.
That was a good episode.